Let's talk a little bit about the working group. Take us through the application process itself.
Yeah, I mean, I would first sort of want to state that the process is for people who are ready. We don't want people focusing just on how to apply for the grant, pursuing a grant. We want people pursuing the work itself. I would create a draft proposal on Jupe Research using the proposal standard below. It's composed of 5 sections, basically like a summary of what you're wanting to do. What is your grant? What is your group actually trying to solve, and how does it affect the DAO in a meaningful way? What prior work have you been doing? What have you attempted so far to date? And what do you want to sort of accelerate on? What does the success of your group look like? What are you actually aiming at here? How do you seek to affect change or transformation within the DAO? And then, of course, the final thing is just the nitty-gritty, the cost. So that is step 1 of the process. Step 2, and this should be the longest step by far, is soliciting ample community feedback. So you should post in the grants channel, Discord. You should be having conversations, meetings with people, posting to Twitter, and have this culminate in an appearance on Jupe and Juice where you present your proposal for the grant, and ultimately craft this into a final proposal which you submit to the grants portal, and it will be immutable at that point, and then present your final proposal on the CWG office hours, and that is the step before determination.
Yeah, I feel like if I read that article, right, it feels very process heavy. I feel like a more organic way of going about it could be to let people do stuff, and then I'm trying to help with that. I want more people to join the people that are doing stuff and do stuff together.
Ideally, I think that it should capture these people that you're describing, like people of those who are already putting in work and demonstrating that work. The way it could go wrong is if it becomes way too process oriented and people think they can just instantiate a group with an idea alone with no proof of prior work, and I think that's where things get inorganic. Do you feel grants should be bestowed, or should grants be applied for?
Yeah, I feel like probably the latter. Encouraged, then bestowed. I feel like it's actually much better if we just encourage them to do stuff, and then when we see them doing stuff, hey, you know what, why don't here's a grant?
I think that this process kind of is based on 3 questions, which is what have you done, what are you doing, and what do you need? And if you can answer those questions effectively, that's what a grant application looks like.
Yeah, but my main issue is that I don't think that those 3 things can be answered in the context of a grant. I think those things it should be obvious.
I also think one of the fundamental differences between this grant system and what happened with Jupe and Juice is that the Jupe and Juice grant funds came out of existing working group funds, whereas this comes out of DAO funds.
I don't agree with that big time. Now we have 3 bureaucratic steps. All 3 are quite annoying.
I would say to that the first step actually occurs before the grant process ever happens. I do see what you're saying, and I do think this has the potential to go awry, but at the same time, I do think like the people who are organically already working, those are going to be the ones that rise to the top anyway.
I just feel like I'd rather see a lot more emphasis on the people doing the things rather than the grant process. I just feel like there's a lot of process right now. We're turning into a bureaucratic DAO right now, and that's really frustrating for me, I think. The message that I think we should be sending right now is not, hey, here's a process, but hey, empower. Talk to us. Tell us what you want to do. We empower you, right? We are here to empower you. Do it. We're here to help you.
I think, my own perspective on this is that the velocity of funding is the primary thing in order to ensure that people who are interested and talented are able to get the funds that they need as soon as they can. And if you have no process at all, and if it is something where you need to know somebody to make it happen, if you have no process, that defaults to only allowing insiders or people who are deeply integrated, right? And the whole point of the grant system is to allow cadets from the fringes to be able to make their way towards the center. This is what makes these calls very cool, right? Like taking these kind of private conversations, putting them out into the open, people arguing in good faith with different perspectives, but all towards the same end goal. The one thing you should take away from this is go do shit. That is the bottom line of this fucking conversation. We will find ways to support you, whether it's through CWG, the Grants Council, the team, Uplink, somebody somewhere will notice you. Don't let anything get in your way. The time is now.